Hey guys, Steven here. Welcome to the channel. Today I am doing a 10,000 mile on the Rebel, as well as a just over a year of riding update video. So this is the Honda Rebel 500. I've had this bike since July of last year, and when I got it, it had about 3,410 miles on it. And now I've got 13,427 miles on it. So that means I've personally put 10,000 miles on this bike. And the bike has handled great. In that time, I've barely needed anything. When I dropped the bike, it shut off on me at an intersection after that, and it turned out the battery was loose. I had the shop fix that and fix the handlebars. They had gotten slightly misaligned, and then it's been fine. The only other issues it's had is basically other than getting a flat tire and having to get my tires replaced, which makes sense. I mean, I got, you know, more than 10,000 miles out of those tires if they were the original ones. So is the kill switch and the brights buttons. When I came back from Daytona Bike Week, I had gotten rained on a little bit, and so those started to seem like they were shorting out. I took it to the shop and they said they couldn't find anything wrong with it, but maybe there was some corrosion, so they cleaned it off just in case. Haven't had a problem since. So as far as this bike for beginners, I would recommend this bike to any beginner. I think it's a great bike. It's been great to me. It's been very consistent, super reliable, and obviously it's a Honda, so that's not really surprising or anything. I haven't done any of the maintenance personally on my bike. I've taken it in to do any chain maintenance and any other things that it's needed, but it hasn't really needed much at all. I've gotten 2 oil changes on it, but according to the manual, I was doing it probably more frequently than I had to. So it suggests every 8,000 miles. I was kind of doing every 5, I think. And yeah, it's just been a great bike overall. So to give you an idea, in this first year of riding, I started by getting this bike and just riding it around parking lots and stuff. And from there, I took the Harley MSF course because I realized I needed some more skills and I needed some help. You know, just kind of understanding how to ride better, and it's invaluable information. If you get a chance to take one of those courses, I highly recommend it. Definitely worth the money, and they give you discounts that, you know, help me buy these gloves, among other things. So it really pays for itself too, and it's a good experience, a good way to meet other riders that are starting out as well. But I really like this bike. I had decided I had wanted a Rebel 500 for a while, and then I found this one in this blue color, and it's just exactly what I wanted. It had already had the exhaust replaced, as you can hear on here. This is the Vance & Hines. That's not the stock exhaust, but it makes it sound really, really good. And yeah, so basically what I've done in this 10,000 miles is I've commuted to work several times. I've ridden a lot just for fun. The furthest trips I've gone on were to Mississippi from Georgia to visit my grandpa, and then I went to Daytona, and then I went to the Tail of the Dragon in North Carolina. So the longest trip of those was Daytona, and the shortest trip, well, you don't need to know about the shortest trip. Look at this doggo. But the longest trip that I went on was Daytona, and it was about 400 plus miles one way. So 800 miles of riding, and then I did a couple hundred miles while in Daytona, or, you know, maybe a little over 100. Anyway, it ended up being about a 1,000-mile trip in about 3 days. So that was definitely the longest trip. And the bike handled great. It can do highway speeds no problem. It can accelerate no problem. Some fun things to do on the bike. I do 0 to 60, and I'm not a professional rider or anything, so you know, I'm not the fastest at doing those 0 to 60s, but you can find it on the channel. The fastest I was able to do was 6.8 seconds. Supposedly it can do 5.4, but 6.8 still seemed pretty quick and fast enough for anything that I need it to do. And on the interstate, allegedly it can go over 100. You know, anyway, allegedly. I wouldn't know from personal experience or anything, but anyway, it can handle whatever speed you need it to go, and it still felt stable enough at those speeds for me to not worry about anything crazy like wobbles or whatever. It handles turns pretty well, but it's not a sport bike or anything, so if you want something that handles turns super well, it may not be the best thing for you, but it does just fine, and it's easy to whip around, and it's still the bike I want to ride every day. I still love the way it looks, love the way it reacts, and so far I haven't really wanted another bike. And sometimes what I'll do is I will ride it to go test ride other bikes. So I've test ridden a Scout, I've test ridden an Indian Scout, I've test ridden another Indian Chief, and then several Harleys, including the Street Glide and the Road Glide. And while I enjoyed those, I was still glad to get back on my bike. So with stuff like the Harleys, they're great bikes, but they aren't anywhere near as affordable. So for the price, this is like wonderful, and I know that it'll be durable. With the Harleys, I wonder, you know, they may have some issues and some other things going on, but this bike's a 2020 Honda Rebel, so they had a couple years to work out any kinks they might have had in the first few years. It has the LED headlights, so if you want those without having to get them aftermarket, you may have to go for, I think they started doing it in 2019, maybe it was 2020, I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, the headlights are great. The stock tires were wonderful. Like I said, they lasted for over 10,000 miles for me. And then when I got these are the Michelin Commander 3s, I believe. I would stick with the stock tires because since I got these, my ride has been a little bit bumpier, even though everybody guarantees to me that the tires are balanced. So it's not that, it's just that the material of the tire doesn't absorb the shock as much as some of the others, and I guess that's part of the shock system on the Rebel. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this bike. It's really been good for me. It's done everything that I need it to do, and it's perfect for a beginner. Absolutely perfect.